I wonder how many folks have asked yourself, what is your mission in life? Mine is really, it has been for a very long time, to help my clients and family be financially independent and engaged in what they love to do and what I love to do. In my case, I love doing research. I know that sounds kind of an odd thing, but I really and truly do enjoy looking at as far as investment prospectuses, trends, and what have you, then coming up with risk tolerances for folks, and then further designing portfolios for folks, and then managing those portfolios for folks, and expectations over time for folks, so they can lead happily, fully engaged lives and raise children the same way. And over the last 30-something years, not counting the 15 or so before that as a certified public accountant, being as a tax practitioner, it has been and it continues to be great fun. Now, there are some other folks who tell you that they'll never retire, and I, by the way, am one of those folks. And yet, one of the justifications they commonly use is that there's no retirement in the Bible. And I was thinking today as I was watering the lantana, which I'll show you in just a second, and they are flourishing despite the fact that we're having kind of a warm, if not hot, summer. Not the hottest, but biblically, one of the tribes of the Israelis was the Levites, or were the Levites. Levites were the priests or rabbis who did the ceremonies, and one of the ceremonies was to slaughter various animals as a blood sacrifice. And I distinctly recall, and I'll get the passage for you some other time, but not today, that the Levites were encouraged at age 60 to say, gee, that was fun. Now they have to go do something else. And I think that was because of the stress and strain associated with picking up those blinking animals and slaughtering them on the altar. So there is some justification for that. In my case, why I'm still doing what I'm doing is I really enjoy helping people and giving advice and getting paid for what I do. Or as Nick Peterson said, there are people who pay to have a place in his brain and doesn't want to give away those places in his brain for free. I reflect and resemble that remark. And a good mentor of mine and speech coach, Joel Wilden, for many years has been doing what he's been doing, coaching people on how to speak properly and introduce each other properly and thoroughly and effectively. And he's only about 81 or so, and he is still doing it. And I noticed that Warren Buffett and his partner, Charlie, I think his name is Munger, are still doing it. And also noticed a lot of actors, particularly comedians, just do it and do it and do it. At least the older generation of comedians. The younger generation seems to get boiled up in terms of drugs and anxiety. What's the point of all this? Have something that you really, for instance, those really are lantana. And despite the fact that we've had a pretty good smattering of 100-degree days, those plants were planted this year by professionals. Ground was prepared by professionals. Dirt was actually bought by me. Also, the oregano continues to grow, and that oregano was planted a couple years back. The basil are not so much flourishing, but they're surviving. And we have one survived sunflower. And God knows we do our best to not encourage the sunflowers to grow, because they grow everywhere. What's the point? Again, summarized to one single point. Be engaged in what you are doing. And if you're no longer working for money, I found that most folks that successfully go from one stage to the next stage have some involvement. It could be church volunteer work, could be the Dallas Food Bank or the Texas Food Bank, it could be the Alzheimer's folks, it could be any number of engaging things to do. There are some folks at the Sam Johnson Center who play some very competitive pool. There are others, I'm told, play poker over there. Excuse me. We have a couple of neighborhood groups which during temperate weather will get together to smoke a cigar and indoors play poker, penny ante poker, which is just great fun and silly. And there's some dine around groups as well. With any kind of luck on Tuesday, Susie and I will get to go to the Jaguar Owners Association of North Texas, the Joant, to go to a place called the Garages. I think it's in Dallas, 9100 John Carpenter Freeway, for a Jaguar Association meeting. In October of this year, the local Jaguar Club is sponsoring and coordinating the International Jaguar Association Concours. Concours is a judged car show. Looking forward to participating in that. We'll have one car on display. So be engaged at every age, whether you're a little kid or an older person. I personally also enjoy one of my hobbies, which is looking in the occasional trash tree to see if I can see a hummingbird. Saw 2 of them yesterday, and I look forward to seeing more later today. This brings me to my second and closing point. I think it's good to be easily amused, no matter how much education you have, or how financially one way or another you are. To be easily engaged and amused and laugh easily is a wonderful gift and treat. This is John Checky wishing you a happy, healthy, fully engaged last day of July 2020.